I believe that if we are honest with ourselves, that the most fascinating problem in the world is who am I? What do you mean? What do you feel when you say the word I myself?
I want to fly on train! I don't give a fuck! Oh, jeez! Hey, what's going on, man? ¿Yo qué pienso esta forma? ¿Usted no sé por qué soy que está aquí? Oh, jeez! Hey, what's going on? I don't give a fuck! Oh, jeez! Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, you can't get out of this! Oh, yeah! Oh, jeez! I'm joining friends, you win. This particular problem until it swings up and bites you on the ass. Mike, just kidding. My new catchphrase is, I don't give a fuck.
It's asking a lot to believe that the problem is going to fix itself.
Guess what, bitch?
Our technology and our numbers have both reached a state where inadvertently we can pose a danger to the global environment, especially through the atmosphere.
The whales have a 15-foot penis. Are you a pervert or something? Okay.
Now, nobody pretends we understand everything about the global climate.
I didn't cut out. You heard me. Google it yourself.
There are feedbacks, some of which you warm the earth a little bit, and the tendency will be to further increase the temperature, so-called positive feedback.
What I'm saying is the planet's on fucking fire.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. I don't give a fuck.
What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? Tonight, we're going to be going over how atheism is stealing our joy. It's a segment from a pastor, preacher, minister, probably not a minister. He looks more or less like a youth pastor, something like that. Anyways, we're going to be going over a video where he is going to be claiming that atheism just steals the joy out of life. It makes everything meaningless, and just there's no point in living, I guess, in his worldview. So tonight we're going to be going over how atheism steals all of our joy. If you want to fuck around and find out how atheism manages to accomplish this, then please stay tuned. In a second. All right. What's up, everybody? Hold on. I don't have my notifications on. Sorry. We missed the super chat from Daniel M, who's David says good night. Good night there, David. So glad that you're getting on into bed. You're not going to hear me curse tonight because there's a lot of dumb things that are going to be happening. So I hope you sleep tight there, bud. First up though, what we got of course, and I didn't set up beforehand. Let me actually rectify this real quick. So tonight we have the normal kind of stream. We've got comments. We've got Today I Learns. We've got Brociphus stopping by with some shitty ass science or TED Talk, or I think we're going with TED Talk now. It's no longer shitty ass science, it's TED Talk. We got Uhan Roderick in the house saying, ooh, or yo, not ooh, sorry, yo. And for some reason, my notification, hold on, yeah, they're activated on the main cam. I don't know why they're not. It didn't activate. Anyways, it'll be active in the next scene. All right, here we go. Oh, y'all know what's first? Yes, honey, it's Today I Learned. Today I learned. Woohoo! All right, so first up on Today I Learned, I do want to say hi to Almost a Doctor. Haven't seen him in a while. Prophet Azad is here tonight, as well as Captain Dadpool. I think Captain Dadpool's got a debate coming up against Zach from Adherent Apologetics. So I'm going to try to get that shared to y'all whenever it gets closer for you guys to watch, or if it's already happened, I'll share it later, I guess. I thought that I had that, planned out in my head when that was going down. But anyways, KC is also here. Hi, honey. We got Uhan Roderick, who sent a milestone chat saying 30 months. Why haven't y'all joined yet? Wizard of Oz says, what does my free monthly super chat and my potential have in common? I'm wasting them both. It's not a waste. We still need to donate to last month's charity. I haven't gotten around to that yet, but last month it was suicide prevention. We've got a charity picked out for that. This month it's isn't it breast cancer awareness? Yeah. We'll be donating to a breast cancer charity, and what we normally do with these charities is we'll look them up on like a charity navigator or some kind of vetting organization, and we'll make sure that the money that GE makes goes to a good organization that doesn't spend too much on overhead and does more for the community. So that's our process there. In case you're wondering, here at Godless Engineer, a portion of all the proceeds that we make off of the channel go to a charity. Generally, it's around $500 or so each month. That's what we're able to contribute. But hey, every little bit helps, right? So if you want to send a super chat, that'll help us out with the charitable donations, and join the Skeptic Mafia. That also helps out. But we're here to learn some shit, and today I learned that Iron Age populations ate blue cheese and drank beer, according to their ancient feces. I don't know why somebody's rooting around in someone's shit from the Iron Age, but fuck. They figured out they was eating blue cheese for science, yo. Oh, there's the notifications. It also caused the Xbox controller to vibrate, so good going there, Uhan. Uhan says fudge cancer. That's right, fudge cancer. Anyways, so that's kind of interesting. I'm sure, you can easily do the chemical composition of, I guess, I forget what they call it after it like mineralizes and shit. Like after shit's been there for a while. I can't remember. Huh? Petrified? Can you shine shit? Oh, okay. Apparently you can shine shit, so just keep that in mind. Next up on Today I Learned, we have that instead of taking their usual salaries for twins, Schwarzenegger and DeVito both agreed with the studio to take 20% of the film's box office returns, which resulted in them receiving the biggest paychecks of their film careers. The movie made $216 million worldwide. This was really risky. Especially like, I mean, it's a good thing that like a pandemic didn't hit, because that's one of the things that you like, taking points on a movie like that is just not a good idea in general. As far as I know, I don't know personally, obviously, but I've heard, because this was a big topic for the past year or so because of 2020 and the theater shut down and everything like that. Like taking points on a movie or whatever a movie makes during its box office release is really risky, because you don't know if it's going to flop. You don't know if it's going to do great. Twins, obviously a great movie, so it was a great move on their part because they got paid so much. But at the same time, it was a huge risk, because you know, it could have flopped and they could have gotten nothing. I mean, it could have been Mama thrown from the train. It could have been that kind of money. And I actually don't know how much Mama throw Mama from the train, I think is what it was called. I don't know if anybody knows that movie. That might be an obscure movie reference. Honey, do you know that movie? No, we don't have to watch it. Okay. Anybody put an emoji in the chat right now if you know Throw Mama from the Train, I think is what it's called. Let's see. How much money did Throw Mama from the Train get? 14 million. Or the budget was 14 million. The box office was 57.9 million. Damn, that made that much money? Let's see, 57.9 E6 times 0.2. Shit. See, 20% of Throw Mama from the Train would have been $11 million. I don't know. I'd act in that movie for that kind of money. Sure, give me 20% on Throw Mama from the Train. Fuck it. But anyways, we got Daniel M with the super chat saying we could do a watch party for Throw Mama from the Train. Yeah, but KC said we could also not do that. Oh, I'm so glad you brought it up there, Daniel. I'm drinking what is it? Jack Apple Fizz, maybe. Jack Apple, I don't know. It's Sprite and Jack Daniel's Apple. Mr. Shigura says throw Kent Hovind from the train. I'd rather body slam his ass off of it. No? Okay. I'll just suplex right off into the... No, you got to suplex him right off of the train into the water. That way he shits himself on the way down, but he doesn't die. Oh, yeah. So the lawyers are telling me not to encourage violence against anybody, so don't do that. Anyways, next on Today I learned that a study finds correlation between lynchings and Confederate monuments. Preposterous! Are you trying to tell me that people living in an area that would have Confederate monuments lynch people? No way! There's no way that's true. You know, that's totally like, I feel like that, like we could have guessed this and we didn't even have to do like a scientific study on it, but apparently there was a study done on it. Jester Lord of Fools says slap him with Christian love.
Or sir.
Gary White says, oh, speaking of movies, Captain Marvel is on TV now. I thought the AEW buy-in was going to be on TV, not YouTube. Oh, okay. I don't know. Thanks for the update there, Gary. I do not think that the South is misunderstood for sure. All right, y'all know what's next? Yes, comments of the day. Prepare to facepalm yourself in the next week. Okay, So I have made a little bit of progress with this segment that seems to be a regular thing on the channel. And that's I've got a background for it. I know. And here, just so that you guys can see it, it's "You are blessed by Christ, ma'am." Or sir. You are blessed. Thank you so much there, I Heart Dogs. Daniel M says David is getting a kick out of you shaking your head and talking. I Heart Dog says thanks for the charity choice. My sister was just diagnosed with breast cancer. Oh fuck. So sorry there, I Heart Dogs. I hate that. James Pusucker says if you want to see a bizarre scary movie, check out Return to Oz. Return to Oz. I was thinking scary movie and ooze. Like there's a I don't know. That was a good 80s movie. And don't tell mom the babysitter is dead. I don't know. I've got a movie that we're gonna watch tonight, and I don't know if huh? You don't want to find out later? Okay. Well, we're gonna be watching Halloween Kills. Yeah. Yeah, it's streaming on Paramount, so we're gonna be able to watch it. So, well, I'll be able to tweet out live. I don't know if you guys haven't seen me watch a scary movie. She loves it watching a scary movie with me sometimes, because I will make comments on it like, "Oh, bitch, don't go that way. Oh, fuck, you're gonna get stabbed in the." She got stabbed in the face. I told you. Oh, apparently me watching scary movies is exactly like how she was, except inebriated. In college, by the way. Okay, so let's get to the let's actually get to the comments here, because we get a number of comments to go through. And I feel like the comments that I've picked out are really worthy of this conspiracy type of setup, this basement thing that I've got going on here. So
maybe you should quit drinking all that beer, GE.
Jason Kolasik says watch Drowning Mona, DeVito and Midler. I think I've seen Drowning Mona. I've seen a lot of movies, so I don't know. I would probably remember it if I started watching it. Anyways, all right. This tweet's from Karen. I don't know what her name is, but it sounds like a Karen. Fuck your 12 years of med school. I birthed this child and haven't left their side since. I'm their primary source of nutrition. I watch them breathe at night and can tell by a cry what they need. So yes, I do know my baby better than you, Doc. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Also, I feel like it's really weird to say, like, I watch them breathe at night. Like, can you just wake up in the middle of the night and your mom's in the corner staring at you like, "Oh, sorry, son. I'm just watching you breathe." I do like the comment below it that says, I'm the only person who has driven my car for the past 12 years, but I still call a mechanic if it breaks down. And, you know, that's to think that just because you gave birth to a child, you are now more qualified to medically diagnose your child than a doctor who has spent a lot of time. Like 12 years, I think, might be the minimum for like a fresh new doctor. But like most doctors have been doing it for a while. So, I mean, like, I don't know. It just, the Dunning-Kruger effect is real in this bitch. KC said it doesn't take a single brain cell to have sex and give birth. So it doesn't take much. You can be the dumbest fucking person on the planet and give birth. That's right, hon. Next up is Jack Posobiec. Is that how you pronounce his name? Posobiec? Posobiec? Anyways, he says, what if instead of a vaccine? Now hear me out, okay? What if we just were able to get exposed to a weak version of the virus that enabled us to build the antibodies we need to fight the real thing? I'm sorry, Jack. What in the fuck do you think a vaccine is? Well, that's not how some of these vaccines work. Some of these vaccines are the mRNA vaccines. And he's right. That's not how those vaccines work. But isn't it the Johnson & Johnson? Right. Well, yes, but the Johnson & Johnson vaccine wouldn't match his particular description because a weak version of the virus, and just because it's not like the COVID-19 virus, it's the weak virus, it still allows us to, like, it accomplishes what he wants it to accomplish, you know? So I feel like the J&J would satisfy what he's talking about here. But even still, like most, nearly all vaccines in the past have been this kind of like vaccine. Just because the new ones with the new technology, which new technology is kind of relative, but it, using the mRNA still accomplishes the same thing. Although we are finding out that, that the potency after some period of time could be a little affected, but the point is that regardless, all the vaccines accomplish exactly what he wants it to accomplish.
Get the fuck out of here.
Let's see. Jester Lord of Fools says Dunning-Kruger won't help against Freddy. Dave Lee says, speaking of Karens, my sister, actual name, Karen, is going to lose her job on Monday because she won't get the vaccine. Stupid, stupid, stupid. I feel like it is kind of stupid a little bit to choose not getting vaccinated over your job. So next up is this dipshit. Democrats want their slaves back. They have been pissed off since President Lincoln said no more slaves and kicked their ass. Well, this just shows that you don't know much about politics and how American politics especially has changed over time, because the Democrats that were fighting in the Civil War for the South have become the Republicans now. The parties essentially swapped sides for whatever fucking reason they decided to switch. And so with you saying the Democrats want their slaves back, that's actually the Republicans. And, to be quite honest, whenever I hear some dipshit say the South will rise again, I just think about how they want to bring slavery back. It's like they're pissed off that they can't own another person now. And so they're like, we're going to fight to own other people again. And it sounds really fucking dumb. Oh, this one. I don't know where in the fuck this is coming from, but I've seen this same thought process a few times on the internet now. And if you know where this is coming from, please let me know. I really hope it doesn't have something to do with Game of Thrones, but we'll see. We got Daniel M that says, you know what? Speaking of what I said earlier, we should do a Skeptic Mafia watch party sometime of a movie we vote on. Oh, can you smell the pumpkin spice? It's pumpkin spice season. Thank you so much there, Daniel, for announcing it. Just so you guys know, starting next week, hopefully I can get some new alerts in here that are a bit more festive. For the next 3 months, I'm going to try to have new alerts for each month. For November, it's going to be all about Thanksgiving and sniffing up the pumpkin pie or something. I don't know. And then, of course, December is all about Christmas and everything like that. So I'll try to have some more festive alerts. So y'all just be on the lookout for that. All right. Dragon blood DNA markers. You know what this is about, honey? This is about dragon blood. Do you have dragon blood? We're going to find out. This is why they want our DNA. Everyone has a lot to say about their connection to dragons. Today I wanted to give you a bit of backstory to fill you in on some truths. That almost went down my throat. The image attached at the bottom of this post has the DNA markers for the dragon lineages. The image at the bottom is from the book written by the late Princess Nicholas de Vere. Prince Nicholas de Vere, former head of the Royal and Imperial Court of Dragons. This Royal and Imperial Court of Dragons is comprised of families within the bloodline. Princes in charge of protection of the kingship line. This kingship line passes down through historical figures like King David, King Solomon, the Egyptian pharaonic lines, Jesus, the Moravian kingship line, the Grand Masters of rap or something, I don't know. Fucking Tupac and Biggie. They had dragon blood. Apparently there's like a there's a conspiracy going around about how we have there's a dragon bloodline, and I have no fucking clue as to what this is all about, but I'm interested to see the evolution of this idea. I wonder who else has the dragon bloodline. I'm sure Tupac and Biggie do. I wonder if George Soros is like a black dragon, or like, you know, like a dark, evil kind of dragon, and there's a war between the light dragons and the dark dragons and everything, and I don't know. This sounds like a D&D campaign is what it sounds like. Well, what are you? I'm a dragon kind. Has anyone got recipes for the physical releasing of the electromagnetic particles of graphene oxide spike proteins? I've had a lot of people recently approach me and ask this bullshit. They are now really pissed about getting the Death Dark. Oh, can you smell the pumpkin spice? Vanta Blue says, so Mother Mary was part of the dragon bloodline since Jesus was a virgin birth? Yes, exactly. And now want this shit out of their body, especially once the bells tone upon its deep dark secret and discovering they've been hoodwinked. I know diatomaceous earth helps release the heavy metals, and activated charcoal helps release the atomic chemical poisons. Anything else we need to know? I don't know. Fucking I don't know how to help this kind of stupid right here. I don't know what on earth would possess you to think these things are true other than, like, I don't know, Fox News. I feel like this came from Fox News and they're just running with it. Oh, this next one's great. This is Caitlin Bennett, Little Miss Shitpants as she's known around here. She says, Christopher Columbus did nothing wrong. That's a hot take. Christopher Columbus did a lot of things wrong. So in case you guys don't know, when Christopher Columbus came back to the Caribbean area, he didn't discover North America or anything like that. He landed in the Caribbeans. Anyways, when he came back, like the second time, what he did was he enslaved the Taino people, and he required of them a certain amount of gold to be panned or dug up or whatever each day. And if they didn't meet that quota, he would have their hands chopped off and then they would bleed to death. That's what Columbus ordered. And then on his third trip, he wasn't able to get enough like gold and shit like that. And so what he decided to do, what he had experienced with like Portugal, was that you could take the native peoples as slaves because he had quote unquote conquered them, right? And so he took a bunch of them as slaves back to Spain, with the exception that when he got back to Spain, Queen Isabella was like, listen, I don't know what you're fucking used to, but this is not it. We do not take slaves. These are Spanish citizens because we have claimed that land and you cannot enslave them. Dipshit. Fuck, you're sick. Is essentially what her reaction was. Let's see, other shitty things that he did. I mean, there was raping and pillaging all over the Caribbean while Columbus was there. He definitely fucked over the native peoples. He was a horrible person in all of this, like, respect. Like, he was not a good guy. He definitely did things wrong. Shitbrick, you're just wrong. All right, next up on the comments, we have this person, which we can actually kind of see their name, Verinda888 Freedom Earth. That's what their name is, Verinda Freedom Earth. She says, we the people call upon, or we the people have the power to call on our galactic alliance, and the time is now. When you remember your galactic family, they will respond to your focused telepathic call. Everybody, do this with me right now so we can telepathically call our galactic family. I don't think it worked. I got a busy signal. Oh, KC popped a blood vessel. We're not going to pay for anybody to go to the hospital right now, but if you popped one, you definitely go to the hospital. I don't even know what in the fuck that was in reference to. And then finally, everybody knows how disingenuous the radical right is. And let's see, we got Lucrezia cosplay. Oh, can you smell the pumpkin spice? Oh, can you smell the pumpkin spice? Lucrezia cosplay says, I did the Spanish Inquisition, but F you, Columbus, Queen Isabella. That's correct. Daniel M says, is this galactic family Heaven's Gate? God damn, I hope not. I really hope it's not. Anyways, so this person is obviously very anti-Biden. I don't know if that means that they're a Republican. I don't know who Kimberly Classic is. Kim K Baltimore is her Twitter handle. I don't know if she's Republican. It really doesn't matter because she's like, look at Build Back Better. In case you're wondering why this is funny and it's made it to my comments, if you just zoom in a little bit and you look at those prices there, something seems fucky in her neck of the United States because typically at stores we don't trade in British pounds. Normally they're dollar signs. But she seems to be in a weird part of the United States still controlled by Britain. Or pound sterling, British pounds, whatever. We do dollars here, either dollars, and we measure in washers. Like clothing washers that you wash your clothing in. Like you say, that car's about 3 washers long. Or it takes about 45,000 washers to get to school. All right. Well, anyways, that's going to be it for the comments tonight. I'm so glad that you guys were able to join me. And you know what? Brociphus is going to have my head if I don't switch out his little image here and get that all taken care of. I know he can't really operate computers. So I'm just going to fix that for him. Okay. All right. So next up is, of course, TED Talks with Brociphus. Shitty ass science! Bring out the answers of science shit really wrong. Hello there, heathens. I hope y'all don't go to hell this month, but my guess is you're still going to be heathens after this, so guess y'all will be burning in hell. Remember to sniff that pumpkin spice. Oh yeah, pumpkin spice time. I don't know, I'm just trying to be like GE. Anyway, so what do we got today? Oh shit, look, there he is. Oh, can you smell the pumpkin spice? He can't. Fuck that guy. Luckily, he went to the shitter. Jester Lord of Fool says, sometimes I think that the surest sign that intelligent life exists elsewhere in the universe is that none of it has tried to contact us. Calvin. Oh, I remember that comic. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I agree. All right, so what do we got here? What are lesbianics? Lesbionics? It sounds like a spin class you'd go to in the mornings or something like that. Anyways, okay, let's see. Face sitting, cowgirl, and any other position with the woman on top are fundamentally acts of homosexuality. The male, by being in a sexually submissive position, is engaging in homosexual activity. And conversely, the woman, being in a dominant position, is engaging in lesbianics. This guy has got lesbianics all twisted around, okay? Now, we're not going to kink shame here. It doesn't matter if you like to be on top, on the side, under a boat. It really doesn't matter to me where you fuck or how you fuck, just as long as it's two consensual adults. Lesbianics is something completely different. Like I said, it's a spin class that you could take in the mornings. Typically, only women take it, and, you know, obviously men aren't allowed because of the obvious reasons. Anyways, so basically in this spin class, you're going to exercise with your girlfriend, and you're just going to do different, like,
Maybe you should
lesbian maneuvers.
Beer, GE.
Which is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You could do the scissoring thing, you know, where you go like this, or other ones. I think there's one where you're both ass end away or towards each other, and you, like, I don't know, you rock back and forth or something. And then, I mean, there's just different ways you and your partner can do the lesbianics and get a real good core workout. And so, I mean, just, I don't know why this guy has to twist it all around with, like, oh, you're really a homosexual, even though you're not doing homosexual things. It's just like a little exercise class you can do in the mornings. I don't know. This guy is just so weird. I think that he just wants to think about these things, but he also wants to condemn them at the same time because for whatever fucking reason, he just doesn't like it. He feels bad about sex is what he feels bad about, okay? Let's get into the heart of the issue here. Oh, anyways, let's say we had Eric Hamian do a super chat saying, fellas, is it gay to have carnal relations with a woman? The fuck does carnal mean? Define carnal. Relating to physical, especially sexual needs. Oh, yes, it is not homosexual to be carnal with women. You know, I was totally expecting something about, like, you know, a circus ring and, like, clowns and shit. That's carnival. Oh, oh, I got you now. Anyways, glad I got to correct this bullshit. Thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk. I hope you will suck Jesus' dick and go to heaven. I'll see you heathens later. Don't fuck up now. Fuck me. Well, shit. Fucking, I'm having trouble. Fuck me. I am thinking about the lesbianics. It sounds like a pretty good All right. Well, that was interesting. I don't exactly know, like, why somebody would try to classify any of that as being a homosexual. Like, I feel like at that point, homosexual or homosexuality, or even the word lesbian become just meaningless because it's like you're still having, quote unquote heterosexual sex. You're still having that, but yet you're homosexual. Like, I don't know. It just seems weird. Anyways, this guy's a dumbass. We got Wizard of Oz with a super chat.
Timothy, what the fuck ever? Shut the fuck up.
It's all stupid. That's right, hun. Wizard of Oz says Fudge Cancer is the second best band name ever. All right. Are you guys ready to get into the video about how atheism is stealing joy? I know I am.
See, here's the problem with trying to answer our level of stress and anxiety.
Oh, shit. Why did it start playing? You are not supposed to start playing yet. All right. Well, now that we're here at the video, tonight we're going to be looking at this guy right here who seems to think that atheism steals our joy. And I'm interested to see how he gets there. Obviously, the Skeptic Mafia has already seen this video and they've already formulated their ideas on it. We're going to get to that later. We're going to hear what they thought about the video, because they got to make comments on it because they're part of the Skeptic Mafia. But we're going to take a look at it first. And I just cannot imagine how in the world he would get to atheism steals joy, because atheism is just not being convinced that a God exists. It's not believing that some supernatural wizard out there spoke an incantation and created everything and controls your life. And I feel like that's a reasonable position to have. So let's see what his problems are. He's got to have some good problems, right? Solid ones. Like solid as shit after eating Taco Bell.
See, here's the problem with trying to answer our level of stress and anxiety and fear in life by technique. Problem with trying to, it's not by technique, because there's a whole worldview that is hopeless and going nowhere that undergirds our whole culture.
It undergirds our whole culture, this worldview that's hopeless and going nowhere. What the fuck on earth could that be? I mean, I know it's not atheism, because atheism is just not being convinced that a God exists. Once you get that shit out of your life, once you're not concerned with what God wants out of you and what God needs and all this other shit, kind of seems like your world opens up, doesn't it? Like you're open to doing more things. Like, oh, I can't do that because God don't like it. Oh shit, I don't believe in God, so I guess I can do that thing.
Atheism is not going to create peace in your life, right?
Okay, so stopping right here, I agree. Atheism is a goal, the quote unquote goal of atheism is not to create peace. Atheism is a description of whether or not you believe in a God. And that's, no, you don't believe in a God. That's the description. That's all that it does. So that at no point have we ever portrayed atheism as trying to give us peace, or atheism even as a worldview. Like he talked before about it being a worldview. It's not even a worldview. It's just, I don't believe in a God. And that's it. Like, if that's your worldview, you've got a really myopic worldview there, because you're not including, like, that's not a full worldview. That's one aspect of a worldview.
Right? We are just animals living by instinct. There's no morality, there's no purpose, there's no meaning. You die and that's it.
Okay, so there's weird, it's kind of a roller coaster there for a little bit. So yes, you die and that's it as far as your own experience goes. We don't know if anything happens after this life. I don't think that we'll ever know whether or not something happens after this life until we get to that point. Like there's no way for the living to know if there's anything after we die. Like that's just something that's never going to be able to be known. But as far as like our consciousness goes, we for all intents and purposes, we do not have any indication that our consciousness continues after we die. Like after energy stops flowing through this biomechanical body that we have, our consciousness ceases to exist. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I think that we would go insane if we lived forever. At some point, we would just go completely insane. So, yeah. But to say that there's no meaning in life, that's got to come with an asterisk. Is there transcendental meaning in the form of the only point in life is to praise God? Like that's what he's talking about with meaning. Is there a meaning to life, or God gives you meaning? That meaning that he's talking about is just to praise God. Like it has nothing to do with you as a person, like what you want to do with your life or what your life means to you or means to others. That's not what it's talking about. He's talking about just praising God. That's the ultimate meaning to life, or the only meaning to life for Christians of this ilk, right? So there's that. I don't believe in that kind of meaning. I don't think there's some kind of universal transcendental meaning. I think that we all create our own meanings. I think that you can give your own life meaning. You can find meaning in your life in various ways. But it doesn't have to, like, your meaning doesn't have to be the same meaning as somebody else. Now, granted, I'm sure that whatever you've chosen to be the meaning of your life is the same meaning as some other group of people. Like there's a whole demographic that have that same meaning, sure. But what I'm talking about is this transcendental meaning to life. He also said there's no purpose to life. If you were to talk about some kind of transcendental purpose, it would be to survive and propagate, I guess. Would if you had to put a purpose on life in general, that would be it. But even then, I don't think that that's necessarily the only purpose to life. Like we've developed our central nervous system enough to where we have this sophisticated understanding of the purpose of our lives, and we kind of give our own lives purpose and meaning. Just because we don't have some book telling us what that purpose and meaning is, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It just means that I have my own subjective purpose and meaning. And that's where a lot of Christian apologists and I guess just general Christians out there get very uncomfortable, because they have to be told by their book as to what their purpose in life is, or at least that's how they portray it. I don't know if that's how they actually feel. That's how they portray it to people in videos on whenever they're talking to other people. We got Asexual Atheist with a super chat saying praising God is a shallow example of a meaningful life. I'm not into any narcissist living rent free in my brain.
Maybe you should quit drinking all that beer, GE.
We've been teaching that for about 150 years. No wonder everyone's stressed out.
Nobody's been teaching that for 150 years. What are you talking about? I have no idea what in the fuck you could be meaning here. Nobody's teaching atheism to anybody. I mean, people are confiding in others and talking about it once they get to an appropriate point in their life. I don't think that anybody should force atheism on anybody, but who does force their worldview on people, even children, finding subversive ways in which to indoctrinate their children? Religious people, just like this guy. I'm not going to say all religious people, but people of this ilk, they definitely do.
Listen to Richard Dawkins. This is a great quote from Richard Dawkins, the very famous atheist. This is
why is it always that they bring up Dawkins? I don't understand it. I get that he's kind of been at the forefront of the community in the past. But I don't know why apologists like this or modern day religious leaders always harken back to Richard Dawkins. I cannot think of a single atheist, which I know that there are atheists that look up to Dawkins as far as like a leader in the community or whatever. I don't. And I think that we definitely need better leaders out there, but I just don't understand why these people are so out of touch with the demographic of atheists.
What he says in one of his books, Evolutionary Thinker. Some of you are exactly there and you're thinking, you don't believe in God yet, you're journeying. This is what he says.
Who are you talking to? You are in the midst of a sermon and you think there are atheists in the crowd? Okay, so there might be one or two atheists that got suckered into coming there by their friends. Like, oh, hey, come on, you know, if it's all just make-believe, then it's not gonna hurt, right? Like, granted, those are the kind of people that might be there, but he's in the midst of a sermon. All of these people already believe the shit that he's about to say. But whatever criticism he has of Dawkins' quote, they already believe what he is going to tell them.
The total amount of suffering per year in the natural world is beyond all decent contemplation. During the minute that it takes me to compose this sentence, thousands of animals are being eaten alive. Others are running for their lives, whimpering with fear. Others are slowly being devoured from within by parasites. Thousands of all kinds are dying of starvation, thirst, and disease. In a universe of electrons and selfish genes, blind physical forces and genetic replication, some people are going to get hurt, other people are going to get lucky, and you won't find any rhyme or reason in any of it, nor any justice. The universe that we observe has precisely the properties that we should expect. If is, at the bottom, there is no design, no purpose, no evil, no good, nothing but pitiless indifference.
Well, yes. That's a really long, convoluted way of saying the universe doesn't give a shit about your suffering. The universe doesn't give a fuck about what you think or any of the problems that you have in your life. It does not give a shit about you. And we should expect it to, because it's not a living thing. The universe is not living for all that we can tell, right? I mean, obviously, shit could come up in the future and it's like, oh, the universe is living. And it's like, well, fuck me. But for as far as we know now, the universe is not a living organism and does not give a shit about us. It just, nature is a cold-hearted bitch because it just operates, right? Like it doesn't, just give you a for instance here, something that I saw this week that's utterly fucking terrifying, okay? I saw it on Reddit this week. Apparently up in, I believe it was New Hampshire or something, it's unusually warm up there, which is causing a explosion in the tick population. And recently, I guess somebody was in the woods and they came across this moose up there. And it was overrun with ticks that were just fucking huge because there was like thousands of ticks on this fucking moose. They were all bleeding this moose dry of its blood. And it's like, that's nature. Like nature just operates. It doesn't give a fuck about you. It doesn't give a fuck about that moose. It doesn't give a fuck about the ticks. It doesn't give a fuck about any of it. It just happens. And we're here to suffer through this hellscape called Earth. Now, I don't know if you guys are know about like super habitable planets. That would be planets that are far more suited for life than ours is. And those exist out there in the universe. So the question is, why would God choose to put us on this hellscape that's reminiscent of the Hunger Games compared to a planet that's better suited for life? I have no fucking idea, other than he was bored one day and decided to create a real life Hunger Games in which I guess another version of Hunger Games popped up in the middle of it. But Yeah, nature doesn't give a shit about you or your problems or your suffering, and that's fine.
Good night. Thanks for coming. Your life has no meaning. There is no evil. There is no good. There is no justice to be done to your friend that got raped, killed, whatever disease, whatever problems you have. Don't you get it? The universe has a pitiless indifference to anything.
Okay. And here I'll criticize Christianity because I mean he's saying that, oh, this universe without a God means that there's no justice for rape victims, right? There's no justice for them, which is not true, because there's justice for some of them, and of course others never see justice, but also, oh, can you smell the pumpkin spice? Also, in Christianity, all that rapist has to do is beg for forgiveness, promise he'll never do it again, and then spend the rest of his life, whatever amount of time that is, spend the rest of his life being a quote-unquote good Christian, right? And that's all you got to do. As far as like getting, like, because, okay, in Christianity, there's two different views. You're either saved purely by grace, like just the fact that you believe in Jesus and everything like that's going to get you into heaven. And then there are those that think that, you know, regardless of that faith, you have to do good works in order to get into heaven. That would be like the Catholics. The Catholics require both faith and good works. But then there's also the group of people that think that it takes both of them. Typically, this is kind of rolled up into the you're saved by grace, because what they'll do is they'll play a no true Scotsman fallacy and say that, oh, well, true Christians don't do bad things. Okay. I feel, yeah, it is some bullshit there, hon. So I don't see a lot of justice that's given by Christianity, because if your justice system has such an obvious hole that you can just beg for forgiveness, promise you'll never do it again, and then not break any laws after, that means that rapist will never see justice. So I don't see the value of this guy's particular version of or flavor of Christianity versus pitiless indifference, as he's making it out to be, because there's no justice as far as eternal justice for the rapist in that situation. And this is not a way to convert somebody, at least in my opinion. It's not a way to convert somebody. This should never convince anyone that there's some kind of ultimate justice to be had. The only way that somebody can get justice for bad shit that's done to them is through our own justice system, by trying them and sentencing them to jail or whatever kind of punishment we deem necessary for it. And I can guarantee you none of them are going to be eternal suffering in a burning pit of hell for finite crimes. But if you really think about what hell means and why you're sent to hell, you're either sent to hell for finite crimes, I guess, against humanity, just finite crimes against God, if you will. And those finite crimes against God could be as simple as just not believing in him, or not believing in Jesus, or questioning whether or not Jesus resurrected. Any of those things could be the potential thing that gets you thrown into the pit of hell. So I don't see any justice in Christianity.
There's no meaning. No wonder we're stressed.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons for us to be stressed. It's not just there's no meaning. Like even Christians that aren't concerned with meaning are stressed. And there's multiple reasons for it. We're currently in a pandemic. which I can't remember how long ago this was. But right now we're in a pandemic. There's, the gap between the richest people in America and the poorest people in America keeps growing, and wages don't get better, and all this other shit. Like, there's so many things to be stressed about. Like, meaning to your life is probably not at the top of the list for a lot of people.
Donating this much money only secures your seat in hell.
The Gym Tanker says, stressed!
We've even taken away the myth level existence that we used to have, where we were part of something.
What does that mean? Like, I didn't even, like, nobody knew on Twitter when I asked it on Twitter. What does that mean? Myth level existence. That's what he said. Let's go back a little bit so we get it. We've even taken away the myth level existence. What does that mean?
Maybe you should quit drinking all that beer, GE.
Kat says, I escaped from North Alabama. Hope you guys are doing well. You know, other than today, I don't think I've been out of my house since about Wednesday. We're doing pretty good. Thank you so much there, Kat. Appreciate it. Let's see. Lucrezia cosplay. I feel like I think I forgot those or hers. Saying, why do swarms of ticks draining a moose alive exist, but not Rivendell? You know, that's a good question. I have no idea. God was just fickle one day and was like, how about we make a bug, but it's like a vampire, and it just exists in the woods, and it'll get you, and you don't even know it. It'll hitch a ride. It'll bury itself in your hair. I've had a tick in my hair before because, you know, being in Alabama and playing out in the woods, you get ticks on occasion. Just lucky I didn't get, what do you get from ticks? Lyme disease. When I was a kid and I heard you can get Lyme disease, I was thinking of like the Lyme disease. Anyways, I don't know what myth level existence means. And I've been racking my brain about what it could mean. We've even taken away the myth level existence, hold on, that we used to have where we were part of something. So, by not believing in God, you've taken away this myth that he's a part of, as well as all the Christians are a part of. So, I guess maybe he's loathing the idea of losing a comfortable lie to him, or, well, not lie. I wouldn't say myths or lies, but this comfortable myth, like this comfortable. I'm trying to accurately describe it because lie is not a good word to describe it. A comfortable untruth, maybe, because a myth is not going to be true to reality. So it's a comfortable untruth that you can tell yourself to make yourself not stressed. Is that what he's getting at here? It might be what he's getting at, but I really have no fucking clue. Vadim wants me to ask Jesus about myth level existence. Look, Kretzia says in myth level existence, being God's children and being part of his plan. I mean, I think that's what it is, maybe? I don't know. I mean, I'm just genuinely confused by this phrase.
Where we were part of something. We were part of an adventure. We were part of doing something meaningful with our life, that even if life handed us a bad hand, we still had some transcendent purpose to fight for, some meaning to frame our life within.
Why does that all go away when you don't believe in a God? I don't understand why all of that has to go away. Jason, oh, can you smell the pumpkin spice?
You are blessed by Christ, ma'am. Or sir. You are blessed.
Jason Colasite says, did we convert him? He still believes. Then we failed. Daniel M also says, other than key Lyme disease, do ticks give West Nile too, or is that left to the mosquitoes alone? Anyway, I had to figure out some way to say key Lyme disease. I don't understand why all of that, everything that he said, it has to go away when you don't believe in God. You can still be part of something bigger than yourself. You can still have meaning in your life. You can still do all of those things. It's just God isn't at the center of it. God's not at the forefront of it. God is not the reason why you're doing those things. You are the reason why you're doing those things. You want to do those things, and so you're going to go out there and do them. You don't need somebody to tell you to go and do it because you already want to do it. I don't understand why, if you don't believe in a God, that means you lose all meaning in your life. You're just some fucking couch potato that lays there jerking off and watching CNN, I guess. I don't know why you're jerking off watching the news, but, none of this makes sense in the first place.
And atheism and agnosticism has taken that away.
Atheism and agnosticism has taken that away. So it's not just atheism. It's agnosticism too. It's just not knowing whether or not a God exists. Regardless of whether you believe in a God, it's just not knowing if a God exists. That takes away all your joy too. That steals your joy away from you. It makes you stressed out. Not to mention the fact that, pretty much everybody's stressed out regardless of what religion you're in. Or not in, rather. It's so fucking crazy to me how they make it sound so dramatic to not believe in God. It's like, you don't believe in God? How do you have meaning in your life? Oh, well, I just sort of give myself meaning. I find meaning in things that I do. I just sort of construct it for myself. What do you mean you construct it for yourself? You need a book to tell you to do that. You need God at the front. Everything you do has to be for God. And I can't process a world where you're not doing everything for God. I've never understood that. Like, even as a Christian, I never understood doing everything in your life for God. Like, God comes first in everything that you do. And I'm just sitting here like, God's not coming first whenever I'm playing on my Xbox. God's definitely not coming first, at any other point in my life. God definitely didn't come first when I was going for, my master's degree. I remember in a Bible study one time, I thought God wanted me to be a teacher. And I quickly found out that I did not want to be a teacher. And so I changed course and I became an engineer. Of course, I figured out along the way what kind of engineer I wanted to be. But the fact is like, I started off like, God wants me to teach the children of the world. And then it became, I'm just a fucking engineer because that's what I'm good at. I don't know. It's weird. Let's get back to the main camera, shall we? All right, heathens, not mafiosos yet. All right, heathens, I'm so glad that you were able to join me tonight. All in all, for this video, I feel like it was very overdramatic about what it means to lose your faith or not to have God at the forefront or at the center of everything that you do. One thing that he said that I highly disagree with is this whole idea that there's no justice whatsoever without God. And I find that even with God, there's still no guaranteed justice. And in fact, the justice provided by Christianity is a lot looser and has a lot more holes in it, wider holes in it, than like our own justice system. Because if you think about it, if all the grapist had to do, using his example, if all the grapist had to do was get on his knees and beg for forgiveness, then, I feel like we would definitely never convict any rapist whatsoever, and there would literally be no justice to be had. unless they're repeat offenders and they're like lying about, being sorry about raping somebody. I mean, if they're not going to suffer any kind of consequences for it, then, I mean, they're probably going to do it again. But anyways, I appreciate everybody being here tonight. If you're leaving out right now, please smash that like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hey, while you're at it, why don't you leave us a comment down there in the comment section? That helps us out a lot with the algorithm. And I guess we will see you heathens next week. On Monday, we've got a special video about Matt Powell. And then I think that we're going to have some kind of video about why you should believe in Jesus on Thursday. So check back with the channel next week, and I hope to see you heathens there. And hey, don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens. But wait, don't go, because we got Greg Kasaric, who used his milestone of 2 months to say questions. Would you disagree with the proposition that either A, you are God, or B, there is no God? Also, how can God overcome the zombie problem? I'm not sure what you mean by zombie problem. I haven't looked that up, but I can definitely look it up later and try to give you a good answer. I would disagree with both of those positions. That I am God. I mean, if I were to define myself as God, I feel like that diminishes the definition of what a God is, to the point where it just means nothing, right? It could mean anything, anybody. And B, there is no God. I wouldn't go so far as to say definitively that there is no God, because I classify myself as an agnostic atheist, so I don't know whether or not a God exists. I just choose not to believe in a God. Well, yeah, good point, hun. I don't choose not to believe in a God. I just am unconvinced that a God does exist. I don't believe in a God. And that's not something that I choose to do. That's just, I don't choose what convinces me is basically what it is. But I will definitely look at the whole zombie problem there, Greg, and I'll definitely get back to you about that. We're about to go into the Skeptic Mafia comments. If you guys don't know what that is, here at the channel, if you become a Skeptic Mafia member, you can leave a comment on Friday night videos, and I will read your comment most of the time verbatim, live on air. And the Skeptic Mafia has a lot of fun with it. They really like leaving their thoughts, and we do have a good bit of comments this week, so we'll try to get through them relatively quickly, because my son does have to get to bed at some point in time. All right, get this set up here. Comments of the day. No, this isn't comments of the day. All right. Food. And boom. Okay, here we go. All right, so first up, we got Jester, Lord of Fools. It says, when I left Christianity and was finally able to throw off my parents' control on my life and threw myself into the mercy of my atheist friends, I was able to find myself and finally learn to come to terms with my own shortcomings and move past helplessness to learn how to forge my own path through life. I am much happier now. I am fulfilled with joy that it's not a stupid acronym for uselessly asking a fictional character for help. Do apologize to all my English teachers for that sentence-a-graph. Daniel M. says, I have to echo Jonathan Nickel, bitter. Absolutely. I would say outright poost. Sounds to me like he has more stress than I do. I feel bad for this guy. He can't be part of something or have an adventure without a belief in a god or gods. That is a sad existence. I can definitely be a part of something and have plenty of adventure without God. Hell, this weekend, David and I are going to run our RC cars if the rain lets up. That sounds fun. We're going off-roading in the Jeep. And most of all, I can be part of the Skeptic Mafia. It's a sweet club with cool perks and fun emojis. Join today and help people in need. No God needed if you happen to believe in a God. We don't mind and accept everyone and have respect for one another. I'm going to say what I tell my son all the time. Pay attention to the people who support you no matter what. Meaning that it doesn't matter to me what he believes or doesn't believe, if he is LGBTQ or not. I will still love him no matter what. In a lot of my experience, some Christians' love comes with conditions. I almost forgot this story. We had dinner out, the in-laws, David and I. After I got done eating, I said, I feel like I'm going to pop. David got scared and started crying and said, I don't want you to pop, Daddy. I was touched by that, and it was pretty funny. That's so cute. Hellbound Hillbilly says, this jackass starts with the standard crispy conflation of atheism with nihilism. You know, I didn't point that out. That's a good thing to point out. Atheism is not nihilism. Failing to understand that just because I don't look in his basket of rotten cherries to find a purpose doesn't mean I can't grow one in my own garden. And he says, damn it, I forgot to shill. Hey, if you guys don't know, we have a podcast that normally posts every single week where we go over some of the dumbest things that, religious right-wing people say. It's been really political lately with covering a lot of what's going on in the realm of mixing religion with politics. So if you're interested in that, then definitely become a Skeptic Mafia member and check out that podcast. One day I will get the filter right where KC sounds good. Dave Lee. Here's the post I left on his page. You know, I'm just so glad he left comments open. Interesting yet tired technique. You talk some mild-mannered, charismatic, blah, 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 and stir in some voice judo, the parts where you're yelling about Dawkins, etc. This stirs up the fight or flight response, and the easily inspired, the gullible. All you have done here is yell at people who have been subtly trained, aka indoctrinated, to not question authority. And convince them to see things your way, and they do that to avoid perceived conflict with you. Your religion has nothing to do with faith, it's about fear. You use fear to keep butts in pews and coins in the baskets. Your religion is as fake as your God. All religion is fake. Disagree? Have your God contact me. LOL! Thank you there, Dave. Appreciate you. We got Alex Baranowski who says, I won't be at the live stream tonight either because a friend is visiting, but I figured I'd leave a comment anyways. This video doesn't get anything wrong with atheism. Atheism is just a lack of belief in God. This guy must have a sore throat from all that yelling. Maybe he needs a lozenge. Insert one shill here. If you guys don't know, we also have a Discord channel. I think I need to update the link whenever you subscribe as a mafioso or a Skeptic Mafia member, but we do have a Discord. I think I have it linked in the description. If that doesn't work, I'll definitely get a new link in there, but you can join our Discord and have fun in there. Command Cyborg. Command Cyborg says, hello world. Atheism, it's really a worldview. For some reason, non-atheists, is there perhaps a collective word for them, especially a certain breed, William Lane Craig comes to mind, has a tendency to think this particular, a no is what I'm thinking about, answer to the is, are there God or gods question somehow also entails everything is pointless. I feel like singing that song from the Lego movie, like everything is pointless. Nothing means anything. You don't have any meaning without God in your life. That's going to get sampled and like remixed or something, isn't it? At some point in the future when I'm far more important. Which it doesn't, but which it just plain doesn't. But we are all animals, shockingly, perhaps. We're just not just animals. I can't. The facts. We're just animals. By the way, what in the flying feck do you mean by answering our fears by technique? Anyway, talk about the blind leading a blind straw man by the beginning of a question. Atheism isn't trying to instill peace in your life. Nobody ever said it did, though. So again, straw man. And what you say we've been teaching everyone for 150 years? Whisper, nobody taught that. Evolutionary thinker Dawkins is an evolutionary biologist. Thank you very much. And he said a lot of stuff, as I gather. He isn't actually done yet. Some of it, quite a bit actually, pretty smart. Some, not so much. But you know what? People are fallible. This fact is somehow illusory to a whole bunch of people. This video guy perhaps account for more than one. So, what have I got? Lucky. Bow chicka wow wow. Okay, and yet some more nihilism bashing. This was short and highly stupid. Smash all the buttons, ring-a-ling-a-ding, rama-lama-bing-bong. Join us and play the whale peens. I'm probably already asleep, but if so, I'll catch this later or not. I'm possibly perfectly awake at 3 a.m. or whatever. I hear time zones is wizardry or something. That's all, folks. Thank you and good night. Transmission terminated. Then we got Vanta Blue here saying, what a bitter man. Something must have happened to him to make him question his faith, his joy, his life. I wager that during that time he prayed to his God for justice, for answers, for understanding, and got no reply. I just see a broken man, and I both pity him and worry for him. Zach Clark says, what do you mean atheism is stealing our joy? It gives me great joy knowing that I can give money to people like GE and KC and know that it'll go to good causes instead of protecting kid diddlers. Yes, we are better than the Catholic Church, that's for sure. Torbjorn Lindberg says, I'm drunk for the first time in 2 years. I can still sum up the stupidity of this video in 2 sentences. The universe is indifferent. We are not. Understand the difference. Yes, I deliberately can't count to 2, so sue me. There! Did you get that? You sanctimonious piece of tripe and religious desperation? Humans are better than your God in every way. Even when we are bad, we are still better at that. We have almost unlimited potential as long as we stand up and take responsibility for our behavior and for helping each other. I could go on, but I've had far too much whiskey. I know how that feels. Insert suitable shill here and have a beautiful night. Well, if you guys want to be able to use the emojis that you commonly see in the side chats every night, got to become part of the Skeptic Mafia. You get to use all of those icons, and the more people that we have in the Skeptic Mafia, the more icons we can have. We haven't added a new icon in a while, so we got to pump those numbers up. These are rookie numbers. Cadence says, oh, thank you so much, Torbjorn, for your comment. Cadence says, atheism steals your happiness, and it's no wonder you're stressed, yells the religious man whose voice is clearly full of anger and stress. I heart dogs. First of all, anyone can quote mine. Secondly, Dawkins doesn't represent all atheists. Thirdly, this man believes there is a unified ultimate purpose of human life which cannot be demonstrated. Big fail. Join the Skeptic Mafia and smash that like button. Be careful though. Don't break it. Also, if you like that fail whale right there, in order to use that, you gotta join the Skeptic Mafia. Next is Nikki, who says, He's not the first jackass to talk about shit he doesn't understand, but he might just be the loudest. Farewell! It's the Ruined Warrior, by the way. Got tired of hiding behind a username. Hey! I'm so glad there, Nikki. It's great to have you here. Jonathan Nickel says this man comes across as incredibly bitter, yet his view seems to be shared by a significant number of Christians, especially in America. I am not saying this is true of all Christians. Please don't jump down my throat, Jane. But it appears quite common, especially among fundamentalists. That's why I generally say Christians of his ilk, because there's obviously a wide range of Christians out there. He has allowed his religion to define him to the point that he has become a mindless automaton. He feels that by detaching himself, he would be like a Borg drone without the queen. Since Christianity provides a guidebook for its followers and seems to imbue a sense of morality, which Christians may see if they don't read their Bibles too closely, many of them seem at a loss to comprehend concepts of meaning or morality outside of their religion. Christianity offers them a torch to light their way, and they believe that without it, they will fumble around in the dark with no rudder and no map. Gesundheit! I give my own life meaning through experience and interactions with friends and family. I am also convinced that if a religion were to enter my world, coupled with its own rules and restrictions, I would be less of a person than I am right now. What I will not do is look for meaning in something I cannot demonstrate to be real, such as God or the empty promise of an afterlife. With that Dawkins quote, he sees nature as just an intolerable as how he views religion, yet there is exquisite beauty in nature if you dare to look around you. What he doesn't seem to grasp is that in his mind, his God would control the natural world. If nature was as terrible as he asserts, then his God must be doing a god-awful job. Then he goes back to say how terrible life must be for atheists, but I beg to differ. Without the shackles of religion, I have the freedom to live my life. In the words of Doc Brown, your life is whatever you make it, so make it a good one.
May the
Next, we
power
got
of
Elizabeth
Christ compel
Richardson,
you to get the fuck out
says,
of here.
I'll probably miss most of all the live stream since I will be at the Gold Over America tour tonight, gymnastics tour. Oh, cool. No morality and no purpose? So you can't have morality or purpose without religion? I'm so tired of that argument. I really feel sorry for someone that feels their only purpose in life is to serve a deity that may or may not exist. And I am scared of people that are only moral because their holy book tells them to be. What kind of people would they be otherwise? The Dawkins quote, regardless of opinions on Dawkins, is cherry-picked and really just saying that there is no great ordained higher purpose given to our lives from a deity. You give your own life purpose. Good and evil are attributes prescribed by people to things based on the moral codes of the societies in which we live, and not some natural labels that exist in the world. In the grand scheme of things, we mostly are really insignificant. It reminds me of the quote, to the world you may be one person, but to one person you may be the world. We each have our own part to play. We each have our part to play in the world and to each other, and for that, we don't need God. Anyway, I hope you have a great night. Like the video, subscribe to GE and KC, and join the Skeptic Mafia. Sorry that was long, by the way. That's fine. Appreciate you there, Elizabeth. Next, we got Trickster saying just because there is no meaning, as they would say what we need, does not mean there is no joy. Plus, he does not even begin to show that there is any meaning to life or that God is even necessary to bring that meaning to be. As usual, he has a lot of talk and nothing to say. Daniel Davis says if it doesn't feel right, then he thinks it can't be true, with a whole bunch of our emojis. Thank you there, Daniel. Gary White says, okay, a short video, but sounds interesting. We'll listen to it and give my thoughts on it in the chat tonight. Thanks, Gary. Clyde950 says, I bet he cherry picks the Bible too. Yeah. Jonathan Hanachek says, wow, purpose is what you give yourself? to do so that you have something to accomplish with your lifetime. Okay. And then KC just gave a heart. I love you too, honey. All right. Well, that's going to be it for the Skeptic Mafia tonight. Thank you guys so much. Let's see. Greg actually came back saying God's philosophical zombie problem is about what mechanism God can God know that anything he creates is actually sentient? God just exists. She can't know any creation is sentient. Well, I mean, if you're talking about the Christian God is also all-knowing. So I think that if God is all-knowing, then he would she would know whether or not whatever they created was sentient. So I don't know. I can see arguments that get around it, but I could also see somebody bringing up arguments that would also pose problems for it. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a good, if that's all that great of a response for you. But I'll try to think about it a little bit more, and maybe next week I can give you a better answer. But anyways, I gotta get Xander to bed because we're actually done right about on time tonight. Let's see. Chrismer the Derp Squirrel says, I hope to have my new bank account down here in Florida by the next month, so may be able to rejoin the Skeptic Mafia by then. Woo! Way to go, Chrismer. Awesome. Lucrezia says, today is my saint day, but I donated to you guys because I know my money is used well. Not sure about church. Oh, cool. I appreciate that, Lucrezia. That's awesome. Well, so tonight, or for last month, you know, like I said before, we're donating to a suicide prevention charity that we've already picked. This month, we're going to be choosing a breast cancer charity. So we will be donating to that. So I really appreciate you helping me out with that. Gary White says, Godless Engineer, I was going to say that all what he was speaking is a bunch of gibberish and rubbish. The one part that I thought was very gibberishy was the mythical existence thing. That sounded like complete horse shit. Michael says, good night, Xander, as well as Jester Lord of Fools says, good night, Xander. I'll let him know that you guys said good night and everything. Yeah, so like I said before, Monday we've got Matt Powell. Matt Powell is going to be giving us his 5 reasons why the Earth or the universe is a young universe, but also he doesn't really care if any of it's true. If it convinces you that God exists and that Jesus is his son, and the only way to get salvation is through Jesus, then he doesn't care what's true. And we're going to be taking a look at that on Monday. And then on Thursday, I think we're going to be looking at reasons to believe in Jesus. So I hope that you guys will join me for all that. And I guess I will just see you guys on Monday. Got a full week next week. Oh, let me actually, hold on a second. I do have a pretty good announcement. Hold on. I got it here somewhere. Oh, yeah. It's right there. Booyah! October 30th, 6 p.m. Central Time, Richard Carrier versus Father James Gadd on the best method in which to interpret the Gospels, as far as like history goes and everything like that. It's going to be dual streamed on my channel and one other channel. And I hope that you guys will join us for that. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be about a 2-hour debate. So be prepared for that. So that's what we got on October 30th. And I guess we will see you heathens then. Don't forget to stand up, use your voice, and all that kind of good shit. We'll see you heathens later. Oh, let's see. And